Let's talk all the problems that we've been through. Let's talk how the money for the rent through. Let's talk about the problems that we had. Good with the bad, happy and sad. I'm just thankful I got some people that feel the way I do. And if you don't, here's what we can do. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
What it do and what it don't. It's your boy Khalil Williams and this is Let's Talk. Today's topic is sex and relationships. Let me introduce our guests.
Kiara.
Braxton.
JJ.
Dynasty.
All right, now let's get straight to it. Would you ever date someone with an STI? And if so, why?
I feel like it'd be hard because of, with a lot of times when people hear STI, they think of more than just the person, being, I'm going to say nasty or, because with some people's mindsets, it's just like, if, say, for example, someone has had crabs or whatever. Like some people are illiterate to the whole idea of what an STI is. So like, oh, this person's disgusting. They got crabs. They probably still have it, but not really know the information behind it.
Like medication and treatment
exactly.
and whatnot.
So
I
some
know
people aren't smart to the fact or don't really know the knowledge of it. So it can be hard for some people though.
No. Because I don't want to catch nothing, And even if it's gone, what if it comes back? So, and they got a STI somehow. They might have got it because some STIs you can be born with. Like if you didn't know, you could be born with HIV. But at the end of the day, and they have medicines that help you from not getting it. But for me personally, I wouldn't date someone with an STI.
it's understandable. Personally, I've run into people, who've had STIs and whatnot, and just even asking them, like, so what's the procedure behind that? What are you doing to necessarily treat it? Or, and they tell you, they're like, yeah, they put us on medication. Some of them, you can't cure. Some of them can, like chlamydia, you can get rid of that. That's easy. You just take some antibiotics, you're good. Mm-hmm. But then you got some things like herpes,
HIV,
hepatitis, you know what I'm saying?
That will never
Even with herpes, like there's two different types of herpes. Like you got A and then you got B. Mm-hmm. So you have like cold sores. That's B. That's like a lesser.
Right.
Common.
Yeah, lesser common. Well, more common. I would say more common. I just think it's less harmful. And you have herpes that could be genital.
I think it would definitely depend on how well the person treats themselves, but you definitely wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't treat themselves well, because with an STI that is permanent, something like herpes or HIV,
right,
there's medication where you would help yourself and your partner to make sure that they're safe just as much as you are. But if you in fact are not taking care of yourself, then you clearly don't care for your partner as well. So that would also open the door for another conversation in itself.
I would not. For the simple fact of I've never actually had one, so I think that would make me uncomfortable just being in a certain circumstance with somebody that actually went through that process. But if it was something as simple as like gonorrhea or chlamydia, it is curable, so I would take that into consideration. So I may have sex with somebody that has one of those two areas versus someone that had like HIV or AIDS.
Definitely.
I agree with him. Like, I was going to say, like, if you're taking your medicines and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, then I wouldn't have no problem with it.
Okay, now what if your partner is communicating with you about it, but they're telling you to take the medicine, but secretly they're not taking it?
Well, that's honestly them being deceitful. Everybody has like a different maturity level when it comes to like dealing with certain illnesses or certain just certain things in general that like happens to do with like sex and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, if you know that you have an STI, the doctor's giving you medicine, prescribed medication for you to take, and you're telling me that you're taking it and you're not, that's just basically telling me like, oh well, like what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like why sit up here and lie or take something that's very serious and use it as a joke?
Right.
Yeah. You can kind of tell like there's effects to a lot of the STIs. Like you can see it. I don't want to say break them down, but you can like see it happen to them.
Like physically.
Yeah.
Like especially like a cold sore. Like if you're looking for cold sore, that little bump.
And with some people, when they're not taking their medicine, you can tell by the way they act, like how irritable they'll get, or like just like the overall effects and how it just affects them mentally day to day. Because if you really haven't accepted the fact that like you have this STI or whatever it may be, and you choose not to take the medication, that's no one's fault but yours. You have the proper medication.
You're
to
not
help
really
get
hurting
rid of it.
nobody else but yourself.
Exactly.
Until you go, you know what I'm saying, you start wilding out. You might hit the club. Oh, bing. You know what I'm saying? Now you got it. Type.
Yeah. See, you just got to be cautious. Of
I
what
think
you
it just falls into trust in itself, and I think another thing that people need to be mindful of when looking into a relationship is self love and self care. You need to find somebody who loves themselves, because if they love themselves, and you know, they'll take their medicine. That's
Right.
just it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in relationships, people tend to look for people to validate love.
The love that they have for themselves.
Right.
They need reassurance. Like,
Right.
You need someone else to validate the reassurance that you have within yourself.
Right. And that's just people like that.
Right.
Those are the ones that you'll see being deceitful and doing things like that.
So even like you said, communicating is a major thing. So I know some people like to think that, you know, because you have multiple sex partners, that you're going to get STIs and stuff like that, which is a higher chance if you're not being protective. So it's like, are you paying attention to the amount of people you're having sex with, or are you paying attention to the protection you're using in the amount of sex that you're having?
True. Very true.
So it brings me to raise the question, like, in relationships, I know some men, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, some men be like, bro, if she got more like 15 bodies, I'm not rocking with her, bro. I'm not rocking with her.
Yeah.
So that makes me want to ask y'all, like, even for women, when it comes to a body count, how do you feel about that personally?
I mean, honestly, people have their experiences in, like, you know, dealing with certain people, and some things may or may not work out for them. To where it's like, you know, okay, like, damn, like, I got 15, now I'm about to be on 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or whatever. And
We're getting up there, bro.
and you know,
Your body count matching your age. That's crazy.
literally crazy. But I mean, me personally, I'm not gonna sit here and judge you based off of what you've been through or based off of who you talk to. Because at the end of the day, I've also been through it too, and I'm pretty sure everybody has also been through, you know, having a body count or dealing with somebody, and then all of a sudden it's like it doesn't work out. Then you go to the next person, they tell you, "Oh, I'm not gonna do you like how he did or she did," and then it's like, boom, you in the square one.
Same.
Okay. No, I don't think it will complicate things. I think as long as you're clean and, you know, STD, STI free, then that's the only thing that is.
I think it's a double standard, though, because
Very.
I just feel like it is,
Very.
and it's a nasty one in my opinion, because I don't see how you can look at a girl and say, okay, she's had sex with 10 people.
That's valid.
She's nasty, but then when you go to your homeboy
Like,
and
yeah, bro, like,
he just
yeah.
had
I got
sex,
my 20th body last week, bro.
right,
That's
and
disgusting.
you pound him up, like that's again, it goes back to the same question you just said, though. Are people protecting themselves?
Yeah.
Because there are so many preventative measures. In the LGBT community, a lot of people don't know, but there's a medication that they are marketing called PrEP. And when you take PrEP, you take it once a day. It's one small pill. And when you take PrEP, it prevents you from actually contracting HIV.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that, right? And there are people
I'm in the wrong industry.
I'm just saying, so you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself. It's a lot of people who go to these clinics and they'll have 30, 40, 50, 60 partners, and they can name all 40 to 60 partners, but they come out clean because they're on PrEP.
So let me ask this question, like, just even straying away from the STI. Why does this generation have a problem with body count or sex in general?
No knowledge.
Yes.
That's the
Even amongst our age, some of us will be like, bro, like I said, she got 15 bodies.
I don't think
or
it's
20
just
bodies.
the age. I think it's a
Maturity level.
I think it's a stereotype that's passed down from generation, because when
Yes.
you look at the average household, it's frowned upon when a girl has sex. If her dad sees that period. If her dad sees she's having sex,
They don't like it.
it's a problem.
But
If the
son
son's
is
having
doing,
sex,
they like,
we're about to have a party about it.
Yeah,
Right.
they praise them. They had no
just make sure you don't get her
condoms.
pregnant, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Right.
It depends, because if the body count is higher than mine, I might not want nothing to do with you, honestly.
It's like when a girl, people find out a girl has sex, is, oh, you dirty, I'm gonna put you out, you sleeping with X, Y, and Z, and that's probably not the case at all. Like, she probably only has sex once, but when the son does it, they hand him a box of condoms, give him a tuck, take him out, like.
I don't really know, because I feel like at a certain number, it's like you got 50 bodies. How? Like, maybe no. I think it depends. Like, if I just found out, like, I just started dating this guy and I just found out he's been sleeping with 20, 30 people. Like, that's really wild. So it doesn't matter.
I just feel like, well, in this day and age, especially with the past generation, a lot of things were different back then, especially when it comes to like the LGBT community or was just like overall like losing your virginity or having sex, period. Because like she said, girls were like thrown in the dirt for it. Anytime they had sex, it was just like, oh, you're disgusting. You're a hussy. Even your mom or anybody in your family is just like looking down on you. Yeah. When a man does, it's just like, congratulations, good job. And it's.
So when did you lose your virginity?
Ooh, a loaded question.
I can say it was like 8th grade. Eighth
Okay.
grade. When I lost my virginity though, I didn't get praised for it. It was just my mother and my father had to talk with me. So my dad was just like,
Was it the birds and the bees?
Yeah, it was that. It was that, and it was just like, you just got to be careful who you do it with. Cause I mean, she was my girlfriend at the time, but at the same time, my dad was just like,
There'll be instances where you might not have a girlfriend.
Exactly. You have to be prepared. You have to be.
You got that lust in your eyes. You like, man, I'm trying to get it on. All I want to do is boom, boom, boom,
Exactly.
boom, boom.
The main thing my dad was just talking about was just like you have to be like it all goes back to knowing what you're doing. Right. And sometimes we go into situations and we not necessarily know what we're doing, and that can be like frightful of us, and we're in the situation already, and it's just like.
A lot of people feel like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, you feel like it, but do you actually know? It's like it's all right to say no. Like that's one thing, especially in the black community that, in the black community for men, is that we don't like to seek help because we feel like it may make us weak.
It's humiliating.
Yeah, it's like, but it's not that at all. It's like it's all right to seek help for things, and it's all right to not know something. And I think that's a really big part, especially when going into having sex with somebody, because that's a very intimate thing. Yeah. Like you're not just, I guess, adding the body or whatever, but you're connecting your soul to that person per se. Like you're having.
It depends on the belief.
I mean, because I feel like people hype up their virginity so much, like they make it seem like this big thing, like, oh yeah, like it's a once in a lifetime thing. You can't get it back. Okay, you can't get it back, but it's just like sex. Like, because I don't believe in like soul ties and things like that. It's just like it's just sex. Like. Nothing big and special about it. You have sex, you go on. Like,
I get what you're saying.
I think it gets complicated when you're in the LGBT community because I lost my virginity at 18. I am turning 31 in May, and I've never had a conversation with my parents about sex, ever.
Really?
Never. Because what could they really tell me?
Right. They don't know. They don't have that proper information to relay.
Yeah.
So what's the freakiest thing you've done in the bedroom?
Oh,
this going for everybody.
Are we really about to do this?
Yeah, this around the board.
Okay,
wow.
So I think the freakiest thing that's ever happened to me in the bedroom, it actually happened a couple weeks ago.
Okay, recent.
Yeah,
Relevant.
I was with a friend and it was a special friend. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And we were having sex. We broke the bed.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Was it a king size?
Huh?
Queen? Was it a queen?
It's king.
King.
Yeah. So we broke the bed.
Real man stuff going on right here.
That's a lot of rocking.
Let me tell you what.
That's a lot of rocking.
No, it got more, man, because look, after we broke the bed, we were trying to put the bed together. We're putting it back together, but can't keep our hands off each other. So it was super funny, but we're still laughing about it even to this day.
Okay.
But put the bed back together, went to sleep, woke up, and went for round 2.
Okay. So headboard is good and everything. No.
Yeah, the bed is fixed now.
No squeaks. No
squeaks.
screws loose. None of that.
It's fixed.
Okay. No man juice anywhere.
No comment. I'll leave it there.
Okay. Who's next? This going around the room. This going around the board.
I think we should go inside.
I'm trying to think like how to put this as PG as possible.
Man.
I'm gonna just say I was hanging upside down.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say I was hanging upside
That's
down.
all right. So you was a bat.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Okay. This was recent?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Braxton?
I mean, the freakiest, I don't even know, because I mean, I gotta think about that. The freakiest thing I've ever done. All right, so this was when I was at Disney World. This was like last summer.
So this was public?
No, I was not at Disney World. Like I was in Florida. Like we were.
Okay.
It was
Near
a family
Disney World.
reunion, but we were in the house though. Like we were spending the night in the house that we had paid for down there, and it was like 4 a.m, You know, my girlfriend at the time, we were having sex, and
who?
I mean, it wasn't gonna be no random
You said
person.
family. That's the only reason why.
I was gonna get to that. No, sir. Hell, this is not West Virginia. I'm gonna say this is not West Virginia. But my girlfriend at the time, we were having sex, and we were like, it was multiple rounds, and she was loud, and I kind of didn't like take into account to like try and muffle the noise. Nah, I was into it, so I was like, I don't care about the noise. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't take into account
you were around
that
your parents. You need to put their face in the pillow, bro.
No, we were around my parents, so my mom was next door. So it was my mom and my sister, but I thought they were asleep. And then that morning, after we were done, my sister was like, Braxton, what were y'all doing last night? I was like, what are you talking about? We didn't do anything. She was like, me and mom heard her moaning through the walls. I said, heard her moaning. I said, I didn't do nothing. She was like, listen, don't tell mom I told you, but we heard you in there. I was like, God. I was like,
getting active.
I went downstairs that morning and I just looked at my mom. I was like, God dang. I was like, I'm sorry.
Bro, you gotta play it cool, bro. Don't even say that. You stick to the story. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's crazy because it shook me up because like when I was in the moment, I was like, we were really into it, and it got to the point where it was just like...
You thought about it?
No, after a while. Like, hours later, I thought about it, but then it was just like, when we were done, I still wanted to go because I wasn't done, and like she was like, her body was seizuring up. I was just like, okay, so we gotta stop.
Okay.
Then my sister told me, she's like, yeah, y'all were loud, and it's nasty because my mom heard us, and she was like, you lucky our other sister and our nephews weren't in there.
You know what you tell her? You just tell her, I don't say nothing when you and Dad be in there.
Exactly. No, sir.
All you gotta say.
Sir.
I don't say nothing when I be walking past y'all room and y'all be in the boom boom digging.
I don't even be in the house. That's none of my business. I don't even know.
Well, the biggest thing I've done is shit. I was on the floor, and it was like from back, I was in like on all fours type of stuff. It was that was it.
Yes.
Okay, last but not least.
Well, the spotlight is on me. Let's see, what I've done a lot. Okay, well, the freakiest thing that I think would be like a good, memory of mine. This is like a good person that I used to talk to. This is like a freshman year experience. We were talking for like maybe a couple months, maybe 2, 3. And, it got to the point where, we were very sexually attracted to each other. So I went to his room and, it was cuddling, kissing. He had porn in the background,
Casually.
That's sweet.
Had to, spice up the mood a little bit. And so then he...
no roommate was in the room?
Oh, no, his roommate wasn't in the room.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Yeah, I had a nice. You had a fun in the background. I'm just asking, you know what I'm saying?
It's just casually in the background.
It was just real quiet. He had the candles lit.
Okay.
He had some music playing in the background.
Marvin Gaye.
Casanova.
And very much so. And he had, went into his closet. He pulled out this little, it was like in a box. I don't know what it was. I thought it was like, handcuffs, lube, whatever. But I was like, I don't need lube, you know what I'm saying?
It was the box.
It was the box. And so he was like, I want to try something different. I've never done this before. He's the first person I've done it with. And I was like, I think I know what it is. He opened the box and it was a dildo. So strap on, put it on, and I had sex with a man from behind.
Wait, so you were hitting him?
Yes.
Oh.
That's active. That's real active. I ain't never experienced that, but that's active.
And it was actually a great experience. I think everybody should experience that.
So I'm gonna ask y'all this question: when do y'all think is the appropriate time to have sex with somebody?
There isn't really like a time limit, like time span that I wait. Whenever we ready, I'm just ready.
It's not really a right or wrong answer to like when you should have sex with somebody. I think if the timing is right or if you guys are feeling each other, then just go for it.
So what if it's off the first encounter?
See, for me, I don't really have a set time
on
it. But I think for me, I'm very guarded. And if I find that person who I can be vulnerable with, and I feel like I can just open up to them and talk to them and be with them, and it just be me just being me, I feel like I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody, no.
If we don't click like that, it's probably going to take way longer, and I'm probably not going to do anything because I tend to get bored easily. So if it takes longer for me to click with you, you're probably going to just get cut off. Snip, 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 snip.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a time limit on it, but like I wouldn't do a one night stand. But like, say I know you, like we good friends. One day I just look up like, oh yeah, I'm trying to smash. I'm gonna tell you like I'm trying to smash.
Trying
You
to
keep it
get
at
busy.
that, like you keep it at that and just go about our
Take
day.
control.
Like,
So what if the first encounter that you have, like you said, is a good friend of yours? So what if that encounter is with is a bisexual man or a bisexual woman? So the real question that I'm finna get at here is, do y'all really think men can be bisexual?
Men, for my own preference, I prefer no, but I've had friends and colleagues that prefer to be bisexual. So I'm the type of person that I am open arms to any relationship with friendship, but I prefer I'm a heterosexual myself. So they can if they would like to. It's their own preference. It's the same thing with females. It's just a society state of mind that we try to shape ourselves and who we are for real. So.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I also want to
That's a
raise
terrible
this
double
really
standard.
interesting conversation.
Okay.
That act that you did, by technicality, if you take human sexuality courses, that was actually a heterosexual act.
I believe
However,
it. It's
society
a
would
power.
deem that
It's
gay.
an act of
bisexual.
power, though. That was an act of power. That's
Yeah.
what that was. He wanted to be dominated. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Would
And
I do that?
A lot
No.
of men are very like, oh, like I'm not gay. It's not about being gay. It's the simple fact that at
It's
the
the
end of the day,
spectrum. It's sex. It's
like pleasure is pleasure.
Yes, I believe men can be bisexual because bisexual is not like a lifestyle. It's just what you like, and some men can like men and women. That's possible.
You know what I'm saying? And besides, like men, like y'all G-spot is in y'all butthole. For being completely technical.
That's wild.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Go
It's
home. You
back
know what I'm
there.
saying? You know?
It is back there.
Hey, man, you
men
getting
can
that,
be
when you getting
bisexual.
that
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that go down to that you like, oh. But you're like, whoa, it kind of feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that, like, the is not what y'all think it is.
Yeah,
You know how, like, when you giving that you got the saliva and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Just chill, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, I'm just that
No, I feel that.
Sometimes you're like, oh, that's wild, but I like that. I like that.
Well, it's a terrible double standard that a man, like when a man is bisexual, it's like he's disgusting, but when a woman is bisexual, it's like it's sexy. Like, why can't a man like a man and a woman? There's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's disgusting when a bisexual man is bisexual and is not open about his bisexuality and is still having sex with women without letting them know that he has sex with men. That is disgusting because you're not communicating and you're putting not only yourself at risk, but your partner at risk.
It's not really a deal breaker because I myself am bisexual, so it won't really matter to me. It just depends on what they have done. Like, as long as he's clean, and if we're just having sex, it's just sex. We're not in a relationship or anything. We don't have to be dating to have sex. So it just depends. If we both consented to it, why should it matter if they had sex with the same sex or not?
Okay,
Now, question with that also, if you feel that that's disgusting, would you think it's disgusting if a woman is bisexual, is having sex with a man, but not telling that man she's having sex with women?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the fair assessment.
Communication.
It goes
Yeah.
both ways.
I
I get certain double standards, you know what I'm saying? I be thinking about it myself sometimes, so I be like, all right, now when I sit down and I think about what's right and what's wrong, morally at the end of the day, bro, if you communicating, I'm not going to be mad at you because you told me what it was from jump, so I can't get mad if I continue to indulge in what I'm doing.
Right.
My whole thing is like just giving people a choice. So like, if that's what you do, cool. Tell me so I can have a choice, like whether I want to still partake in certain acts with you or not. Like,
Right.
So it's all about choices.
It's respect. To me, I feel like that's respect. Like, if you can have the respect to go and have sex with the same sex behind the other sex, the opposite sex, and not say anything, keep that same respect to the person that you're doing it with, the secrecy. Why can't you have that same respect for the person that you're only being intimate with? That information not going nowhere. If you really being frank about it, it's not gonna go anywhere unless that other person is not being respectful of y'all confidentiality when y'all taking place in sexual acts.
That's true.
But I think that happens anyway because people just jump straight in the bedroom without actually getting to know people.
I don't really put no time on it. Whenever it happens, it just happens. It could be first night, it could be 2 weeks. I'm down regardless.
Right.
So
And
there's
then
that.
same thing with relationships. People just hop in a relationship. All right, you look good, I look good. We talk for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. We in a relationship. I'm sorry, like 6 months in, I still need to know you. Like,
Yeah,
at
I ain't
some
even meet
point-
your
And
mama
besides,
yet.
and
Right.
besides in 6 months, like anything can change, anything can happen.
Really, and that's one issue with this generation. Like, we're so quick to date for such a short amount of time, and then be ready to get
Now,
married.
and then be
Let's be
like,
friends
men ain't
first.
this, women ain't that. Y'all this, y'all that. Pick me, pick me, pick me. Shut up. Date. Have
can I ask a
fun.
question?
Explore.
So like, what's the longest y'all would talk to somebody?
The longest I would talk to somebody,
Yeah, without getting in a relationship.
I'd say 8 months.
8 months.
That's decent to me. Because at that point, I know who your friends are. I know about your
Family
family.
members.
I know about personal issues you got going on. I probably know when your periods start at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things I know that I need to be attentive of. So when we are in a relationship, I know what I need to do.
Sure, I say 8 months to a year. I need time because
Yeah.
people be talking for 3 months, getting a relationship, and 3 months after that, they only known each other 6 months, talking about they in love. That's the love of their
Exactly,
life.
they want to
like,
get married.
Like they don't know the person yet.
What? You just got in a
Bro,
relationship.
like I said,
I don't
I
know.
said this on Twitter the other day.
I don't really believe in the term talking. I just feel like either
Yeah.
you dating or
You
you
dating
not.
or not.
And
Yeah.
I think
It's either your
my
mind or
longest
you're not.
relationship, I would say, was 5 years though.
So what is your definition of dating?
Dating, I think dating for me is what y'all consider talking. So for
Okay.
me, dating is when you're exclusive with that person.
Okay.
Y'all go on dates.
Okay.
Y'all are getting to know one another.
Now,
Okay.
let me ask you this question. I don't mean to cut you off. Now, when you say dating, you're saying that you're exclusive with that person. There's such things as dating and dating mutually exclusive. You can date and date other people and still see someone and not be mutually
Well,
exclusive.
that's their definition of dating. When I date,
Okay.
It's one person only.
So this is JJ
Right.
dating
yeah.
101.
I don't do the whole talking. I feel like when people say, "Oh, I'm talking," I'm like, "Yeah, I'm talking to y'all right now. We're having a conversation."
Exactly.
Right.
So how do y'all feel about, like I said, we're talking about dating. Same concept of, all right, you can see other people and do this, that, and the third and not be mutually exclusive. So how do you go about that as far as communicating that to your partners and them not getting offended?
Oh, I let them
You
know
just
up
need to be
front.
upfront.
No, I let them know up
Exactly.
front. Like, you're not the only person I'm talking to. Like, you can go and do you, or you
You-
can continue
right.
to talk to me, but like, you ain't the only person I'm talking to. Once I figure out who like I'm trying to be with, I'll let everybody know. But
I think it goes back for me. It goes back to that whole vulnerability factor because for me, I'm seeing someone, and
congratulations.
thank you. I'll be trying not to say it, Lord. I'd be like trying to keep everything private. I'd be like, can't tell everybody what's going on. But we talk about everything. So I know at any moment I could call him and say, hey, this is how I feel. This is what's going on, and it is what it is. He's honest with me. I'm honest with him, and we just go from there.
Now, what about the times where, all right, so relationships. You got that long-term relationship, that long-standing, trusting, loving, caring relationship where you have a person that you can talk to about anything. But then what if you get to a point where you don't feel as though a relationship is meant for you and that particular person?
Okay, I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I just ghost them.
I've had that happen.
And you need to
Yeah.
move on to the next thing. But it's hard to let go because y'all have such a connection and a strong bond. Just being with each other and knowing each other, talking about every and anything.
You're gonna have to take
You
that
gotta,
leap.
you gotta cut that off. But in a sense, how long do you think it would take for you to get back into what they would call the field?
It depends on, like, as an adult, you have to make that step forward. It's like we have to talk about, like, you gotta rip the Band-Aid off. Like, look, we've been in a relationship together, but just at this moment, I don't feel like it's right anymore. Like, you have to be honest with that person. If you're not honest, you're hiding stuff. That's when things get toxic. That's when you start to lose trust for each other. That's when y'all start going behind each other's backs. There's a lot of other issues that come into play when it didn't need all that. We were just like, hey, look, this is what's going on. And that's what the trust comes in. Like, at any time you should be able to call me and let me know how you feel. I may be hurt for a little bit, but at least you told me. So it's like, there's no more time being wasted. And then that way I have time for me mentally to get myself together, to do what I need to in my life or whatever else I'm doing. And then just decide there if I want to be in a relationship with somebody or if I just want to be friends or, whatever else.
So are you gonna continue, having sex with the person even though y'all not together?
No.
No.
Because that's emotional. That's emotional. That's an emotional tie.
So do you think, I'm gonna wrap this up, this is gonna be our final question right here. Do you think people who are in past relationships with each other could still be sexual partners and not have like intimate relationships?
I don't think that they can just have sex and not catch feelings, because there was once love there was once care, sex was once filled with passion. So I feel like if you go back down that road and you have sex with them again, those emotions are going to come up. You guys are going to want to start falling in love again. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I
It's
think you can, but I think it varies by person on how they receive sex. Because for me, sex is something very intimate. I just feel like
Some say it's an acronym. It's a sacred act. It's a sacred something exchange. I don't know what it's. Somebody.
I had to find
Sacred energy exchange, something like that.
see,
Somebody said that.
ain't nothing
I
about
don't think
that.
of it that deep. That's why.
Right, but
You
I
think
just
of it like that when you connecting with that person.
right, I do. But for me, I just feel like it's something very intimate. I don't share my body with any and everybody, and I just feel like people who do it, I don't judge them, but I just feel like if you have that much energy to blow off, hit the gym or something. Go find something to do.
You can have sex and not catch feelings, because feelings don't always drive everything. Sex and love are two different things. If you're having love, then you have feelings for this person. If you're having sex, it's just sex. I can physically not be attracted to you. Maybe I just want, this stuff. So you don't have to automatically catch feelings just because you're having sex with someone. That's what friends with benefits are for. And that's why some people can't work out with friends with benefits, because they always catching feelings. It was just sex. So people need to get that in their head. Don't catch feelings.
Maybe.
What if they don't want to? What if they're doing that and they just, they just want sex? Sometimes
you
sometimes
can
like
do
said,
that.
pleasure is pleasure. You just want pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
You can do that, but I think at times when you do things like that, you complicate your life, because you're having sex with someone, and the person you're having sex with, they might not be receiving sex the way you're receiving it. So they might be thinking that y'all are deeper than what it really is, and it's not.
Okay.
That's why everything just comes back down to a conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
Communication.
Well, this is Let's Talk. Sex and relationships. We're out.
Let's talk all the problems that we've been through. Let's talk how the money for the rent through. Let's talk about the problems that we had. Good with the bad, happy and sad. I'm just thankful I got some people that feel the way I do. And if you don't, here's what we can do. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.